Let's go to our Sky News US analyst Michael Ware. Before we get to that point, you wrote a strong article, strong piece in The Australian yesterday about Julian Assange, Michael, calling him a traitor. So just elaborate on that point if you wouldn't mind.
Well, I regard him as a traitor in the sense that during a time of war, when we had American, British and Australian troops in the field under fire, Julian Assange published troves of unredacted documents. So that puts the soldiers at risk, that puts our methods and our methodology at risk, and it also puts the locals who are putting their lives on the line at risk, whether they work for us or whether they're supplying us with information. And I found that a grievous betrayal of our Western military's, presence in these extremely dangerous combat zones. Now, if Assange had acted like a journalist, he wouldn't have just dumped these naked documents. He would have processed them and sifted through them and distilled from them the truly newsworthy pieces of public interest that needed to be out there. But he didn't do that. He later worked with journalists, but he just took all this very, very sensitive information and dumped it out there for our enemies to see.
Now there is this talk of a pardon, or of him possibly wanting some kind of presidential pardon. Do you see that being successful? We just spoke to the former chief of staff at the CIA, who said that would be a bridge too far, despite what's already happened. What do you think about that?
Well, look, I'm actually personally really glad for Julian Assange and his family that he's finally free and he's back on home soil, because whether you agree or disagree with what he did, he served his time. In fact, he added to his detention by fleeing into the Ecuadorian embassy. He probably would have been out a lot sooner if he just faced the music. As to a pardon, President Biden has said he's not even going to pardon his own son. He's just been convicted of 3 felonies.
True.
And given that there's no love lost for Julian Assange on either side of the political divide here, because let's not forget, it was the Trump administration that secured the charges and then unsealed them. And the Biden administration, his Democratic Party, will never forget the fact that almost literally at President Trump, then candidate Trump's behest, he dumped all of Hillary Clinton's emails, again, unredacted and completely naked, on the eve of the election, which some Democrats believe may have had a significant impact on that election. But the final point is, as the former intelligence chief of staff said, this has been a hard pill for the US intelligence community to swallow. So they, of all, will have the most bitter taste in their mouths this morning. And yeah, I do believe a pardon would be a bridge too far. And I don't see a lot of political support for it.